Nelly Furtado. I don't know what that was. So Travis,
What's up?
you're currently in an ethical conundrum. I walked into Travis's house today, and I recognized that your mom had cleaned the garage.
Yeah, she's having fun.
And so I said, the garage looks nice, and then she said, thanks, Travis is in a conundrum right now. Just the way she said it just made me really happy.
It's the classic conundrum of, like live in your parents' basement or get your own place. I mean, where do you stand? I mean, you don't like living at home, do you?
I don't mind living at home, but I'm just going to tell you my life story of the past 2 days. So I had to drive down to Milwaukee.
I hate doing that.
I actually did not mind it.
Last time I did it, though, I went to Milwaukee and back in the same day.
Yeah, I had 2 days, luckily, so it was a little bit easier on my brain. But I went to Milwaukee from Hudson, which is about a 5-hour drive when you include like bathroom breaks and everything.
I can do it in 4.5 usually.
I can do it, but I like taking my time. And I always stop in Mauston or Toma. That's Mauston on the way down and Toma on the way back.
That's where the Megabus and the Greyhound stops. So that's kind of like in my mind. I like to stop at Wisconsin Dells and fill up because first of all they have really cheap gas usually. Mm-hmm. Second of all, I like to see the giant dinosaur and some of the other stuff they have going on there.
I love the Dells, but that's something we can get back to in a second. But so I drove down there because I had to go fill out my I-9 and some other applications for teaching this semester. And so I drove down there Wednesday, and then I came back Thursday. So that was a day ago from when we're recording this. Mm-hmm. What I missed about Milwaukee, and this is something that's really weird, I think I might be the only person that says this, I miss it being noisy. Like, it's so quiet here that it's kind of disturbing. I think I'm kind of like, I kind of view the great natural outdoors as like a horror film. I don't know, silence scares me. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I liked it being noisy. I liked there being a bunch of people, and like, it is the pandemic right now, so obviously I like didn't go outside and go to bars or anything. But it was just nice to be in an area where there was a lot going on, a lot happening.
But I feel so disconnected with it being in Milwaukee when that happened because it feels like you can't do anything.
Yeah, that's true. It also was nice because then I was in my apartment and I didn't have to worry about my parents at all. Which, not that I have to worry about them, but it's just like, it's one less thing I have to...
Like having privacy.
Yeah. I have to concern myself with. So that was nice. And I am excited to go back officially for the semester next week. It made me excited. Plus, what was nice is I got to listen to a whole bunch of political stuff when I was driving, so that was fun.
What'd you listen to?
I'm a big NPR nerd, so I listened to On Point a bunch because they had some great coverage about the Democratic National Convention, which I thought was really good. And they had a couple of discussions where they talked about the tension between like some coins. The tension between the progressive and the more moderate parts of the party, and like how these people are trying to like. The people who are organizing the convention are trying to both appeal to like the typical suburban audience, but then also what does that mean for progressive people? And the guests they had were like, advocates and
it's kind of complicated.
Organizers. And,
by the way, this is the Game Detectives live coverage of the DNC. It is really, I think, not even complicated. I think it's very conflicting, some of the people they chose to... Because they very, very desperately want that centrist or middling vote right now. But I think it's a very... I think inviting people like Michael Bloomberg to speak is kind of like you're... I don't know.
Especially... So it was... What I liked about Bloomberg was not Bloomberg at all, but just the fact that no other Democratic person, basically none of them wanted anything to do with him, because they had these things where it would be like them talking, or, like they had this thing yesterday where it was a bunch of the old Democratic candidates like talked about Joe Biden or whatever and got together. And Michael Bloomberg was like obviously not invited to any of these events. Like
Was he
nobody,
there?
no,
'Cause most people videoed him.
yeah, he just videoed in. But like these were like virtual things where like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and Cory Booker and Pete Buttigieg all talked about Joe, and like they did that. But then that was like an official thing on Thursday. But then there was also some other like events they were a part of where, it would be talking about. I know like Amy Klobuchar popped up in like another thing or whatever
She was in a speech, and then she was also did the roll call for Minnesota.
Yeah, and it was just very obvious that like nobody likes Michael Bloomberg, and it seemed like very obvious that like whoever was running the convention was like, we should just have him in there, but nobody really liked him.
No,
like,
I think it was a very intentional move.
Oh, it was an intentional move, but none of the...
They want to be like, he's rich, and Democrats can still do economics if they got... And they had Kasich there. They had, I don't know, I think having Hillary and Bill is kind of like a weird message,
yeah,
too, honestly.
I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a stan.
Do you remember how I opened these egg glue things?
I have no idea.
Do I have to
think you have to go
on top
in
of them?
there. Do you have to go in this thing?
These all have golden bananas.
Oh. I don't know. Maybe you have to... It looks like all of them have Diddy.
I feel like I have to be hunky chunky and like body slam. I thought it was the stalactites drop on them, and that's what shattered it. But I'm gonna try a couple different things. It doesn't matter. I'm not wasting time because I'm getting bananas.
Yeah.
That's sort of the...
We're getting the lay of the land. Have you done the Tiny Kong through the ice thing?
That's the one that I have to go to.
Okay.
Is that one is what leads to the guy. But I'm trying to figure out how to open those. But we'll get there.
But they like today on Point they talked to someone who is like a progressive activist from from Chicago, and they were like, were you happy with what happened? And she said that it's not really about being happy with what happened. Yeah. And she said the same thing about like Kamala Harris's record, where it's like what she did is what she did, and there's not much I can change about that, but I can change like how we're gonna react and how we're gonna put pressure on these people to be accountable to us. So like, I mean I think that's kind of nice, especially when you see a lot of people online. I like the action-oriented approach to progressivism.
Yeah.
But I also understand the, I'm tired of this BS approach too.
Well, there's just a lot of, I don't know, I get who they're trying to appeal to, and I think they did a very good job at it, but I can't help but roll my eyes when it's like, your message is, we are disrupting the establishment, but also we're making every effort to continue the establishment.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, you need to do like one. Yeah.
It's 4, 5, I gotta find 1. 2, is this gonna be 1? 1.
Yep. Oh, I thought it was 7 for a second. 2.
And then this should be 3.
3, yep. And
Which
then
one was
4
4?
to the left, yep.
But I mean, like, it feels like having Bloomberg, Bill and Hillary is a big, like, very much like, I don't even want to say old school because I feel like it's giving that too cool. Like, it's giving it too much credit.
It's like established. It's like the last of the Democratic dynasties.
That's what's exciting about it, is you can see how old they're getting. It's like, okay, finally we're going to have some new blood in there. I completely understand having the Obamas, especially since they're both really good speakers. In fact, Bill Clinton said his speech was pretty well done. I thought he did a good job, especially for his age. But again, I think it sends the wrong message.
To me, it's like I understand why people, because people don't follow politics like we do, and they're just like,
it doesn't matter whether or not I'm convinced. They're trying to convince.
It's like, that's a Bill Clinton. I remember him. I voted for him way back when.
Go Razorbacks.
Or So, like, the audience, and we kind of talked about this for a little bit, the audience isn't really... Like, it's on TV, and the audience for most of it is for middle-aged people who have TV.
But it's not on TV. That's the thing that confused me also, is it wasn't on TV, it was streamed.
Well, like...
and then also, they had it from 11 or 9 to 11, which is like, okay, if you want these people go to sleep there, they should have done it earlier.
Well, yeah, but if you do it earlier, then the West Coast is... Because on the West Coast, that's from 6 to 8.
It's only a 2-hour difference.
No, it's a 3-hour difference.
from West Coast
to East Coast.
2 hour. Okay, well I hate the West Coast. So screw it. Actually, I like the West Coast.
I was gonna say that's where you need your
No disrespect. Oh my goodness. Maybe if I do this, it'll open that up. I don't think they're gonna let me get away with this, but
I don't
maybe.
think so either. We'll see. Nope.
Oh, okay. Oh, did I? Okay.
There we go.
What? That wasn't even the. Oh. I kind of hate challenges like this.
I don't mind. Well, I suppose I'm not doing it, so I don't really.
Oh, and they make him come back. Get out of the way. I don't have time to deal with him.
Oof.
It doesn't matter.
It's just there were positives and negatives, of course.
There was definitely like kind of a feeling of optimism, I think, in a way, sort of left.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're making me get out. Okay. I don't get to just.
I don't
try
like
again.
to get out. Oh, it scared me when I was a kid.
At the same time, so much of it is just, and again, I guess it's not meant to appeal to me, but so much of it is just like, this is exactly what you would expect, and like, we're gonna talk as broadly about a lot of things as we can and avoid really kind of digging into things that we should. We're gonna avoid trying to show new faces. We're gonna avoid challenging. We're gonna avoid showing emotion.
Nice.
Oh, that was a lot easier to time. No, that's not gonna open it because I already have a golden in here. So that's kind of.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard balance because you need to be able to present things in a way that will also appeal to people who are not as progressive as we are.
Yeah, but I don't really care about appealing to people that aren't me. That's the dilemma, David. Oh my God, get this guy out of here.
Oof. So that's the inherent difficulty of something like this. It's just like it was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Which is always
that's
something that's good.
That's the sad thing, is it's like, okay, this was better than I thought it would, but it wasn't that good. I think I had really low expectations.
Yeah. I think overall the lineup of I think the format and everything that they did outside of the official speakers was really good, but the lineup of official speakers is where it really shows who their target is trying to be for, you know.
What are your expectations for the RNC?
I'm not gonna watch it because I don't hate myself that much, because like it's just gonna.
I don't even think it'll be funny.
It's not even gonna be funny. It's just gonna be like actually terrible. Like it's just gonna be like actual white supremacy.
They don't even. I can't imagine that they have that much planned, because okay, so the Democrats, they had 6 or so months to kind of figure this out, because this was their plan for a while. Mm-hmm. Republicans were planning on doing in person until I think very recently.
Yeah, probably like a month at the most, or at the least. Like. Yeah.
Oh, they're gonna pull this on me. Okay. Okay, well that's just completely inappropriate.
Oh gosh, it takes away a half melon too.
Oh my god, yeah, that's punishing.
Dang.
Is there no invincibility Kong thing? Actually,
maybe there is. Oh.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I don't even care about the golden banana that much. I just want to get that balloon. Where was it? Am I gonna be able to get
I think you have to get to the middle first before you can get it.
Maybe I can snipe it. No, I'm not gonna mess with this. That's what I like about games like Donkey Kong 64. If I don't want to give attention to something, I'm not required to for any longer than I have to.
Just like the lineup of the RNC is already like.
They haven't announced. The only thing do they announce very many speakers? I know they're gonna have the couple that had their guns on their front lawn.
Yep.
But did they announce anybody else?
I don't know.
Pence
really.
is obviously gonna speak in Trump, but I really don't think they've said very much of what they're gonna do.
No, I heard Kid Rock is gonna be there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, you're joking.
No, I heard.
Well, now I have to watch.
Oh, summer long.
This song is so weird.
I think, but see, the problem is I keep saying things where it's like this person speaking, but then I find out it's a joke, so I don't actually know.
Yeah. You gotta make a redaction, too. Your thing about Trump's train ended up being fake.
That was fake news. I'm sorry. I said the wrong thing. It was not an actual ad, but it was still an ad that he posted to his Twitter.
Yeah.
Or something that somebody else had made. I heard this today, and I'm not sure if it's true, but I think it is. Do you remember that kid from like the Native American protest where it was that white kid and he was like standing up and he had the MAGA hat on?
The yodeling Walmart kid?
No.
Because I really like him.
Not him.
Mason Ramsey.
No, it was this kid who was like...
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
And he's speaking too, apparently.
What does he have to say?
I don't know.
Is he gonna stand there and stare at you?
He'll just be like, owning the libs.
He did own. People were trigged.
You know what? I hate being owned more than anything.
Okay, am I on the right track here? Yes. You get owned pretty often.
I know.
To be fair.
Ugh.
No!
Oh!
So I was owned. I feel like I have to do this too, because usually whenever Donkey Kong has one of these things, you have to do it for like a major part, but I don't remember exactly what it does. This opens up those egg glues, then I'll be happy.
We can also talk about Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I love her.
I heard her jokes bombed.
But see, what the problem is that you have like people who are like, all right, let's be nice. When
yeah,
she,
but everyone
like,
was being mean, so I don't really get it.
I don't either. I thought she was great.
I thought I had the Cucamonga slam. I only have the blue. Is blue level or red level the biggest?
I thought red level's the biggest. Does it go green?
It goes green,
red?
blue, red. I thought, but I thought I got that. I don't remember. No.
Oh! It's a little unforgiving. This is.
The 2D games, they give you a lot more to play around with because it's a 2D plane.
Yeah.
This you really... And it's like, sometimes you have to account for like him falling, but sometimes you don't.
Yeah.
Usually they give you that little ring there, so it's clear. I mean, or usually it's pretty obvious where you have to hit. Oh, oof. Biscuits. I'm gonna keep messing around with this, so you better think of something interesting to talk about.
I see the DNC. The problem is that I have such mixed feelings about it that it's like hard to know exactly how to feel or how to say what I'm talking about. But I think here is something exciting though. I think I've decided that I'm gonna do.
I hope Ted Cruz speaks at the RNC.
I'm definitely gonna like look at the highlights of what's happening at the RNC just to keep myself apprised of the pop culture. I am really happy though that one of the things I don't like about everything is that people are like, oh, now that Kamala Harris is president or is vice president, we can see more. What's her face? Maya Rudolph on SNL. And like the less things that happen relating to the show SNL, it makes me happier in life.
Yeah. What do you think happened there? Why did SNL stop? Because SNL was like the zeitgeist. It was like the thing of comedy.
Well, when you have a writer's room that, like, I think basically when Tina Fey left is kind of, like, even then it wasn't the best thing ever, but I thought it was pretty good, but then as soon as you kind of have Tina Fey leaving the writer's room and then everybody else after that is kind of leaving too, then it just kind of turned.
I even wonder if it's just one of those kind of, like, sitcom-y thing. Oh, this is what's at the end? Oh, and I didn't even get it. I don't care about that, though. I gotta check the other way just to make sure. I think it's one of those things where it's just too broad.
Yeah.
The humor that has to appeal to as many people as possible can end up appealing to no one.
Yeah.
Because part of the humor is you have to kind of be, like, making fun of something, or somebody has to be getting hurt, or somebody has to be, like, getting ahead of somebody. There has to be some sort of, like, misfortune or something involved, but it's just, like... I don't know, I guess I don't watch a lot of SNL, but it seems like it's a lot of pop culture. X thing is popular, let's have this celebrity. I don't think this is going anywhere. We're going to have X celebrity be... Oh, I did it again. I didn't even want to. We're going to have X celebrity be this thing.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of...
And then the joke is like, it's this. It's like the joke is like this is the actor who's playing that.
Moms love it though.
Moms love it. Again, it's not for us anymore.
What is for us?
I don't. There's just not enough stuff for white men out there.
TikToks that's just a bunch of sound effects and not like any sort of punchline. That's the good kind of humor.
Mm-hmm. I do love a good non sequitur. I think those are fun.
But then the thing is, it becomes a non sequitur because you recognize the nonsense, and now it's an in joke. Now we're all in on it.
That's true. I also like it when in TikTok, because part of comedy is that you want it to be a surprise. You don't want part of the fun of
surprise is a huge part of comedy.
Part of the fun of TikTok is that there's a formula to it. So I enjoy TikTok too when it's, just kind of like the same thing over and over, and it's fun to see the variation about what people can do to it. Mm-hmm. But then it's also fun when you have a TikTok that completely is like different from what you're expecting. And I think actually it, in a sense, like SNL kind of did that in the 70s and 80s, where they didn't it's weird to think that SNL when it first began was like really considered to be like,
well, so was the
raunchy,
Simpsons. The Simpsons was like irreverent.
Yeah, and so it's just that's the comedy that does that. It's kind of not associated with the people who are producing that new form of comedy. Excuse me.
How spoiled do you think you are? What's going on here? We gotta protect this rabbit.
Oh, I think so.
I gotta have my gun out. This isn't gonna go well. I guess I lost.
The bunny exploded.
Oh, well, I guess I don't really care. The bullets don't hurt them. They have to punch. That's kind of non-intuitive to punch flame balls.
I guess that's what you have to do.
Yeah, I don't really care. Because we're just here
Getting the bananas.
I still gotta figure out how to open that egg loop, but that's gonna come. The point is, I think we need 360 bananas for this level, or something kind of ridiculous like that. But we're getting closer and closer.
Getting stronger every day for Chicago.
I think I realized there's something else I'm supposed to do in the level that's gonna give me chunky monkey powers, and then I think I can smash those guys. But we'll figure that out later. I want to fly around.
I wonder, do you think then that there might, because we had Mad TV that existed for a little bit. Mm-hmm. I guess the new, but even that's like 15 years old now. The new thing was like the political comedy show where it was one person.
You mean like Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert?
Yeah.
That was on for such a long time though.
Yeah. Well, it started like in the late 90s, but it got really, like the format got really popular like mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Like where people were
well, that's because Bush.
Yeah.
There was always something that was kind of like this guy, like the Chappelle Show was big, Key and Peele was big. There's always some sort of sketch, but now you don't see as much on TV because doing something on the internet, you could write and produce it 1,000,000 times faster.
Yeah. Than
you could on TV, so they just can't keep up with that. That's what Comedy Central just announced, that they're canceling a lot of their live action comedies to focus on animated comedies. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah, that's what you kind of have to do now, I guess. It kind of sucks though, because where else do you get like those more edgy live action comedies?
Yeah. And not that I like watched Drunk History, but I get like, I've never watched it, so I don't know what it's like, but I get like people, I get that like it's a thing that people like to hear about, and I heard it was actually a pretty like informative show too, so it's kind of sad that they're
it was on for canceling 7 years though, so
well, it was weird. It's weird because I follow some people who are like involved with it on Instagram or Twitter, and apparently they were like they were in the middle of taping season 7 when it was canceled.
Yeah, but how are they taping? I'm assuming they took a break for COVID, and then they're like, well, it's not worth putting money into this right now. And it kind of makes sense. I don't know. I've watched Drunk History. It's pretty funny, but, I don't know, it gets kind of old. Yeah.
I've only seen, like, little clips here and there on YouTube, which I'm sure is how young people are, like, consuming it.
I didn't realize it was on Comedy Central. I thought it was on IFC. I think Documentary Now is a much funnier and smarter show. Yeah. It's kind of like the same thing.
It's a little more niche, not quite as broad, probably.
No. Because I think you have to. I mean, you don't have to have seen the documentary they're making fun of because it's very genre-based, but each one is very specifically based off of one documentary.
Yeah.
Boulder, Castle, Point. I'm just root scooting.
Oh.
I think I have to do this. Oh, that was a mistake. No, we're good. Because I think that's the only way to get LankyCon up there.
Probably, yeah. Now it's time for Tiny.
In a sec. Oh, really zooming up there. I'm just trying to scope around and see what's.
Maybe something's back here.
I'm looking for another egg. I don't know. I have this weird mental memory of like I need to smash something with those stalactites, and I thought it was that, but now I can't think of it. We'll look at this claptrap over around here because that's pretty high priority too.
Yeah, we need those. Plus, they just give you a banana too, which is always good. Less work, the more double work we can do, the better. I wonder then, do you think, because Quibi failed.
They're still pushing it really hard.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna.
No.
What do you think is gonna be the next kind of big political format then? Do you think it's gonna be something? I guess the whole Sarah Cooper thing.
For political comedy?
Like the whole Sarah Cooper thing on TikTok, I guess, is a thing. And like people like her, like lip reading of Trump, which makes sense with TikTok.
David,
I guess.
you got to keep in mind the things you think are big are the things that were big 6 months ago.
I know, but I'm trying to
behind the zeitgeist.
But I'm thinking about something that like has endured for more than like a strict period of time within a specific framework of people.
I don't think that's enough to build something over. I would say maybe if you wanted to go that angle, I would speak more broadly in the sense that comedy based off of or the formation of comedy and legitimate activism. So doing things that are political activism but with a comedic tone would be something I can see expanding more in the future, because that's something you do see with TikTok, pulling more pranks and doing stuff like that, like just the more call to action type things that you know, for better or for worse, have legitimate ramifications but are legitimately funny.
Yeah. Well, because, I mean, we've said before, a big part of comedy, right, is all about punching up and, like, speaking, what if you want to call it truth to power or whatever. It's just, like, making fun of people who have more power or, you know, things than you do.
I can tell you
so it makes sense.
I can tell you what's never really worked well, and that's,
Big Mouth?
Yes. But animated political comedy. They haven't really found a way to make that work yet. I mean, I guess you could argue South Park, but I think even then, their teeth have softened so much that they really don't have a lot of bite right now.
Same with The Simpsons.
Yes, but I mean, like, specifically in terms of, like, satirizing current events, it's just not possible through animation. They had that really terrible Trump cartoon. Have you ever seen that?
I've seen it. I've seen, like, ads for it, but I've never actually watched it.
Yeah, that looks awful. And it's literally just like, okay, it's funny voices, but it's like you can't satirize current events because the animation process takes too long.
And it's just it's like from what I've seen, it's like the SNL humor where it's like we're just gonna have like funny quote unquote caricatures of these people, and then that's gonna be.
And there's funnier things you can do.
Yeah.
Too. I don't need every banana.
It's like that's why I would rather watch like Veep than one of those shows. You know.
I couldn't really get into Veep either. Maybe I didn't give it enough of a chance.
I've only seen a couple episodes here and there, and it's one of those shows that I kind of want to get HBO Max.
I ain't paying for that.
The problem is I don't want to pay for it, but there's so much good stuff. Like I want to watch I May Destroy You. I want to watch. It's by Michaela Cole.
I don't know who that is.
She's a British comedian, but it's like based on her experiences after having a sexual assault. But it's like a comedy drama kind of thing. No.
Oh, is it like Fleabag? That's British.
Yeah, it's kind of like Fleabag, a little bit, but not. And like it's like made by like a female showrunner and directed and produced by her, but it's different in some ways.
It's good. They need to do a new streaming platform. That's the main problem. And I know there's a million of them, but here's the problem. It's homogenized. We need a good one because all of them, all they're doing now is just buying up. You know, everybody's taking turns owning the Friends and the Office.
Yeah.
And okay, we need to think of maybe a new pricing model Like maybe you could do. I don't really know how this would work, and I don't know if it would work, but maybe something like a lifetime subscription to something. Like you pay like $250 and you're kind of like you get that streaming platform for life. Or just there has to be something different attempted.
I wonder
everything is so similar, and the only difference is kind of like what old thing people aren't making enough. I would say 5 years ago it was fine, but right now it really feels like people aren't making enough very interesting new content. Really, I feel like there is new content, but now it's just like, well, who's gonna buy which old property and adapt it for their streaming platform, and it never works out.
And the problem is that you also have like so many people who want only that it's like
they say they want it. They say they want it, but what I'm saying is how many people, the vast majority of people have Netflix so they can rewatch stuff like Office and Friends hundreds of times.
Yeah.
They don't own Netflix for the original programming. They don't care. They go, oh, this is nice, this is great. But they wouldn't buy Netflix because of the original programming, nor would they leave it because of that.
Yeah.
So there's a market that they need to go is there's people that are kind of split between all these programming platforms, and it's like, I wish I could be like, I really like this one, but it's like each one has maybe one or two shows that I think is like, this is pretty good, but that's not enough for a subscription. There needs to be a new one that focuses exclusively on original, which is, okay, obviously that's a huge investment, and it's kind of impossible to do. But what if you did something like a movie studio instead of, because movie theaters are going to change super dynamically after this. So maybe we just call that quits, and like Universal Studios has their own online streaming platform, and they exclusively make new content for that. Or something, or like Adult Swim.
I'm surprised there isn't an Adult Swim.
They own by Viacom or something like that. There's your answer then.
Yeah, there's no one good model, because at the end of the day, every single organization that's running these sites are doing it because they want to make money.
Well, there's obviously no good model, but I'm saying is there's no variety in models either.
Yeah.
Every model has been based off the Netflix model, which was the first to ever do it. And I guess Quibi is the one to try something new, but first of all, they're really stupid about it. And second of all, I don't think even on paper it's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, it's been 32 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm thinking we might have to call it quits on this one.
We will, but we'll be back soon. There's lots still to do.